Welcome to the BumbleKast. I'm your host, Ian Flynn, the Bumble King, and joining me as always is my Bumble co-host, Kyle, JCRB Krause. That's right. Just a quick update. We've decided that Kyle can no longer say things because it gets me in trouble on Twitter. I don't care how well your intentions were. I have to deal with it. So no more jokes, no more making fun of things, no more witty commentary. Just read the questions. I love you too. So let's go.
How can I read the questions while talking as the cheat?
Okay, I hadn't thought that part through. All right, fine. Default to English. Okay. Just so we can get through these questions for our patrons over at patreon.com/BumbleKast, Ko-fi.com/BumbleKast, and our YouTube members.
Okay, fine. I will talk as a normal person. For Sonic Fan has a question. If Scourge was sent into a D&D world similar to Baldur's Gate, what would his class, charisma skills, and special skills be? Also, Scourge fighting a dragon would be cool to see.
It would be.
Seems like he'd be more likely to try and team up with the dragon, at least at first.
Depends. Like, if the dragon's got, like, all the treasure and Scourge wants the treasure, he'll fight the dragon to get the treasure.
Yeah.
See, I'm not super into D&D. I don't know the classes and stuff. What's something that's, like, high speed and mobility, but also berserker?
Would he be like a... Rogue seems a little too...
squishy.
Barbarian is a little too slow, though.
Yeah, you need somebody who's going to get in there and mix it up.
Yeah. I think he's just. I think he's just a. He's probably just like a fighter class with an emphasis on speed. Maybe. I don't know, man. There's all sorts of stuff you can be. You can. I guess Rogue would be probably about a little bit. Probably would be the closest, honestly. Although Sonic would also be a rogue, so. And rogues are tough. They can be.
Yeah, okay.
So it's not like they're not squishy. So
okay.
And they could be like they could have like a subclass or they can multi-spec or whatever. So I don't know. Charisma.
Skills where for all of his faults, he is charismatic, at least within the fantasy world he's in. So
sure,
convincing people to go along with bad ideas.
I mean, that's what Sonic does, to be fair.
Or, wooing people over to his side because they think, oh, maybe he can get this done, or, oh, I can fix him, or, yeah, he's got my best interest in mind. And he doesn't in any of those cases. He's a bad man, but he still manages to convince people to go along with him.
Yeah. And you can make a charisma rogue. You can do a charisma-based rogue. And intimidation is a charisma-based skill, so,
No.
Maybe that's it. Maybe that's what he is. Special skills would be a spin dash, obviously.
Before anyone cites he can't be intimidating, Jules scared him out of his own house. Yeah, Jules rolled a natural 20, buddy.
He got lucky. Also, that's Jules, that, his dad, not Jewel from IDW, in case anybody's confused, because I was for a second. Took me a second. All right, here's one from All Peachy. I don't have a silly question this month, but I do have a deep one. You both have worked for many years with the Blue Blur as a job career, and of course, it's so cool and amazing what you both do. Thank you, All Peachy, but I don't do anything with Sonic. I'm just here.
Let's go ahead and just highlight that part real quick. Kyle doesn't work on Sonic. Kyle has never worked on Sonic. No. Sonic is not affiliated with Kyle, and Kyle is not affiliated with Sonic.
I hate Sonic, actually.
Kyle is only roped into the Sonic fandom by proxy.
Yeah, I mean, in a sense.
My contact high of Sonic-tude has, infected him.
I'm riding on Ian. The coattails I'm on are solely Ian's. They are not mine.
So, I try to be very careful with what I say that could be construed as professional insight. But Kyle, he's clean. Don't listen to him for anything.
No.
He just reads the questions.
That's
why we have him doing the cheat thing.
Don't listen to me. I'm nobody.
He's just the only reason this show works. But other than that, disregard.
I'm just a fan. But I've been a Sonic fan since 1990. I don't know. Actually, probably 1991. Thinking about it.
The year, fake fan.
Well, I'm just thinking of when I became a Sonic fan, not when Sonic became a thing. Anyway, yes. It's not about me. I'm just a guy. Ian's the Sonic guy. I'm just Guy.
The guy in the chair.
Yep.
Anyway, the actual question.
Yes, let's go to it. Yes. I was wondering, though, if there were ever times you guys felt embarrassed telling family members or people outside the nerd world about how much Sonic is involved in your work lives. I work as an event coordinator / leader for a Sonic meetup group in my state, and sometimes find myself getting a little embarrassed when folks bring up the Sonic part. I just wanted to see if you guys have ever had instances like that yourselves.
Early on in my career, there were moments, but that's because I have deeply rooted inferiority complex. Now, that's kind of just in general, not necessarily Sonic related. But as time went on and I, interacted with more folks, that fear went away because outside of the immediate online Sonic fandom, most folks will go, what is that? Sonic, the Hedgehog, the video game franchise.
Yeah.
It's been TV and cartoons, the movie, Oh yeah, I've heard of that. So you worked on the movie? No, but I've worked on the franchise for like almost 20 years. Oh, that's cool. Thanks.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Yeah, even like I've talked about the BumbleKast to my family, and I'm like, yeah, it's a show about where people ask questions about Sonic the Hedgehog usually. And my family, I tell them, and they're like, oh, that's neat. Sonic the Hedgehog? You mean that thing you liked when you were a kid? Mm-hmm. The thing you were obsessed with? And I'm like, yep, the very same. So
also, usually the follow-up statement is, oh, that's cool. Then my kid loves that. And it's like, yep, I'm glad they do.
Yep. Alrighty. Here's one from Alan C12. What if in the Archie comics, Sonic was Eggman's robot slave instead of Sally?
We did something very similar to this on a recent BumbleKast. It basically would be Metal Madness again.
Mecha Madness, yes.
Mecha Madness.
Go back to that. It's like issue 30-ish, somewhere in there.
39, 40, and the special.
Yes. Was it both?
I count 40 just because that was the epilogue story.
The Fallout, yeah.
Yeah, it was a direct follow-up.
Yeah. Yep. And man, that was a hell of a ride. Great story. One of the best early Sonic stories, for sure. Alphamon or Yukin has a question. Suppose Fiona Fox decided that dating Scourge wasn't worth it and didn't betray the Freedom Fighters. How would things have panned out for her? Would she still have broken things off with Sonic or stayed with him? And how would her presence have impacted the future storylines?
Kind of depends where you place that. Like, she knew Scourge was Sonic and was, or she knew she was with Scourge instead of Sonic and, just decided it didn't work out, or didn't know from the get-go and decided to not pursue it otherwise. It's kind of a gray area. It would have some nuance to it, but I guess ultimately it would be just Fiona getting pushed to the realization that she didn't have a place in the Freedom Fighters. She tried, but it just was not working, and so she was going to go out on her own and find herself and do her own thing. Wouldn't necessarily have been a full heel turn. I mean, maybe she would have gone maybe neutral, kind of sometimes hero, sometimes villain, sometimes ally, sometimes villain. I don't know. We never really pursued that route, so it's hard to say.
Yep. Alrighty. Andrew D has a question. The god of shipping, oh boy, not that guy, has brought together all the Sonic series relationships from around the multiverse to sit in a large circle and discuss which of them is the best ship for each character. For no reason other than the god of shipping is bored, I guess. To keep them from fighting, they are locked into their own spots with magic or tech or whatever. What are some of the craziest ones, and how do they try to convince the others that they're the best case relationship scenario for their halves? Will Surge and Sonic break up after listening to what both Surge and Scourge and Sonic and Amy have to say? What will Eggman and Starline say to Jim Botnick and Stone? Is Mimic from Mimic and Zavok regretting his decision after witnessing the success of Mimic and Vivalve? And is Zavok jealous? And just how adorable is Dodonpa and Big and the photos of their fishing trip around the galaxy. Get as crazy and wacky as you like and have fun. No need to take this too seriously. Well, the fandom will probably take it a little too seriously, so yeah.
See, I'm not imagining any of the actual pairings. I'm imagining these like old Republic senators in their robes with just like these emblems on the front, arguing in this hallway that never seems to end because there's just so many exponential different crack ships that you can throw together.
Pretty much.
And you have the god of it all just presiding over, getting increasingly bored as this cacophony of endless voices are shouting to be heard. And then all falls silent as this like biblically accurate angel-like thing descends and says, "Be not afraid." And you realize it has every single emblem upon it. And it just says, "Everyone with everyone." And the universe blinks out because we've reached singularity.
Yeah, pretty much. That's it. Works for me. And Tails has a question. Tails really likes Cosmo, but the Orange Fox wants to do something to woo his Cedrian companion and sweep her off her feet. Clueless, he turns to Rouge the Bat for advice. What sort of relationship guidance does she give to the infatuated two-tailed prodigy, and how does it go?
Poorly in both cases.
Yeah. It does not end well. I mean, you should trust Rouge about as much as you trust me on this show. Don't listen to her. Don't listen to me.
Like, Rouge knows how to be alluring. She knows how to manipulate people and get them to give you what they want. But
yeah,
actually a meaningful mutual relationship that's based on trust and respect, she ain't got time for that nonsense. So I mean, at first she's going to throw out the kind of most basic mindless suggestions, buy her chocolates, buy her, jewelry, give her, flowers. Oh, wait, maybe that's a war crime to her. No, might as well find out. And it doesn't work.
Get Cosmo some jewelry so I can steal it. I mean, I didn't say that. You didn't hear that.
And, it ultimately, after Tails fails repeatedly, he just gets her some Miracle Grow and she's very happy. And then they ride off into the sunset.
Okay. Plant food. I guess that makes sense, huh?
I mean, it's the equivalent of chocolates. It's just,
smellier.
More her style.
Yeah. Doesn't smell as good as chocolate. Oh, well.
She offers him like a pinch of that blue powder. Would you like some? Thank you, but I'm trying to cut down.
No, thank you. No. Axis has a question. I'm very excited for the Sonic Movie 3. So far, it seems like it could be some sort of adaptation of Sonic Adventure 2. That would mean yet another universe where the events of SA2 happen in some way, like with Modern Sonic, Sonic X, and Archie Sonic. But we have Boom missing. So how would you adapt the story of SA2 in the Sonic Boom universe? Would it be one episode, a trilogy, a whole season arc?
I am so sad we didn't get the rumored surfer dude Shadow.
Yep.
Because then it would just be the story of him surfing from island to island, and then he tragically loses his board, Maria, to like a shark attack or something.
Yes. His board
maybe it's a shark in gun armor that shoots the surfboard. I don't know. It's Maria, no. I'm haunted forever now. Bummer.
Bummer, dude.
This is what you wanted, wasn't it, Maria? A chance for everyone to be gnarly. I mean, we were robbed.
To be rad.
Robbed, I tell you. I don't know. If we have to stick with official Boom Shadow, I imagine that to play it for laughs, Gerald and Maria are just perfectly normal, happy people, and Shadow is just someone who happens to hang out on their couch or something. And then they decide, well, it's time to, their work study on this island is done. They're moving back to the city. Bye, Shadow. But he doesn't find the note they left for him on the fridge, so he thinks he's been betrayed and abandoned, and he'll never trust anyone again. This is my tragic backstory.
Maria's not dead. Gerald is also not dead.
No, they're perfectly
dead.
happy.
Everyone's
and healthy and fine. Yeah,
yeah, they're fine. The Boom Bio Lizard? It's just something that got out of control from Gerald. He's just like, oh no, screwed up. Or it's just a normal pet lizard, yeah.
It was this experiment he left behind at the work-study island and just grew out of control.
Yeah.
You have to bring him in to take care of it. Oh, sorry about that. Guess I left too much food behind. There we go. Shrink it down to size. Everyone's happy. No one dies. Nobody's a tortured lab animal. Everything is peaceful and calm. I have angst, except for Shadow.
That's just how he is. Bladed Fox 14 has a question. If you're familiar with Miraculous Ladybug, what would an akumatized Big look like?
His stripes would go black and white to be like an old prison uniform, and his name would be Big Problem. or Big Trouble. Maybe that's better.
Oh, no.
And he would still be the kind of affable and aloof character that he always is. It's just he calmly robs banks. Just walks through the wall, gently takes the safe door off of the safe, just calmly walks out with all the money. Not malicious or, mean-spirited or anything. Just, he's a bad guy now. That's what he do.
He just takes it, yeah. What if his name was Big Oof?
No, that's for like season 12 when we've run out of ideas on how to rehash the akumatized villains. Or that's the name of his signature attack, big belly flop onto Chat Noir. Big oof!
Oof! Big oof! Wow, nice. Cherry Heartsew has a question. I don't know too much about shipping in the fandom, but I see a lot of questions about it, so I have to ask. What is the main cast preferred form of shipping? Ground or air? Do they prefer FedEx, UPS, or USPS? Who pays extra for expedited on products they don't really need? Am I doing this right?
Oh, you're absolutely right. Dead on. I wish all shipping questions were like this.
Yeah, perfect.
Given how many islands there are, I would imagine airmail is the preferred option.
Yeah.
Maybe carrier flicky.
Eggman prefers Eggazon.
Yeah. Yeah, he do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he sells the Ring doorbells to track you. Or the Egg Ring doorbells.
Yeah. I imagine Tails and Amy shell out for the expedited shipping because they order so much.
Think Tails will just go pick it up. He can fly faster.
Yeah, well, he's got to get the parts to build the engine so he can fly to pick it up, but he doesn't want to wait, so...
Eggman prefers all his mail to be expedited.
Yeah, he does.
Thanks, chat.
And Sonic hand delivers everything. You think he's going to wait in line at the post office?
No, it's faster for him to just do it himself.
And Shadow just warps there. Chaos Courier.
Yeah. The ultimate
courier control. I missed it.
The ultimate delivery boy. Sonic versus Shadow mail delivery. That's what they do. They are they try and see who's the fastest, who can deliver all their mail the fastest.
Sonic may technically arrive later, but he doesn't purposefully beat up the packages like Shadow does.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, that's a Boom episode.
It said it was
again.
Fragile. I wanted to make sure it was.
Just in case. I threw it around a bit. I mean, it's what it says. It says fragile. Just want to make sure. Chaos Sonic 1 has a question. Considering off camera, you tend to make dirty and bad jokes when an opportunity arrives. Within the BumbleKast, how much restraint does it take to not say it, even if it's going to be taken out in editing?
Scandal?
Heresy? I was going to say, Ian's not really the one who makes the bad jokes so much. That's me.
Oh, come on, Kyle. I let loose every now and
again. You make
a
few, yeah, but usually it's not during the show.
No, well, that's stipulation. I'm so used to trying to keep it clean because I am associated with so much children and all ages media that I know that's what my general audience is, so I'm kind of used to keeping the kid gloves on. Sometimes, though, man, it's just got to let loose.
Sometimes. Yeah.
And sometimes, man, we have had the setup for some great zingers, and it's like, that ain't even PG-13, Flynn. Keep your mouth shut.
Yeah.
It'd be funny, but you have to face it tomorrow, so don't you do it.
Sometimes I even keep my mouth shut. Not frequently, but sometimes.
Besides, taking the high road's good for your legs.
I suppose. I guess. Unless you got a bum leg. Here's one from Conga. I'm not too familiar with your internet shenanigans pre-Archie, so I'm curious. Apart from the Pato, do you have any OCs that you've written / drawn? And do you have any recent ones you've made?
Recent? No. That part of my life is far behind me.
The recent OCs you have made are the ones that are in the book now. And they're not all, it's not all you who made them. They're, collaborative process.
When they have to be approved by Sega of Japan, I don't think they really count as OCs.
I mean, they're original characters for the comic, so they're OCs.
Yeah, but they're extended cast within the franchise. They're part of the brand.
Yeah, but you still had a hand.
They've got official merch, man.
You still had a hand in their creation.
Yeah, well,
they're OCs, official characters.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
I did have a few way back in the day.
Yeah.
Like way back when the internet fandom was first starting to come into being, and friends would get together on the old B scene chat rooms, if you remember those. Uh-huh. Having our own freedom fighter groups, chat role play and coming up with characters left, right, and center. And they kind of eventually evolved into their own independent thing and then kind of grew out of them. So fond memories of what was, but yeah, that was young and inexperienced Ian just goofing off with friends online. The hardened, bitter old man Ian only does stuff for the man.
Yeah. Well, you did come up with Harold. But, I mean, that was a prompt for a question on this show, not like you just came up with Harold out of nowhere. But, Harold is your OC.
Yeah, kind of odd to think that Harold is my midlife crisis attempt to reclaim past fun, but all right. All right. Hi, Harold. Man, you're a sad reflection on my life. Anyway.
Harold is what you've ended up with, is what's here now. Yep.
That is my legacy.
No. There's your characters for Drogoon. There's Claus McGee.
Well,
they're not Sonic related though, but they're original characters.
Yeah, but that's me wanting to finally branch out and have something like I can claim as my own.
Yes.
Something that is original, something that stands up by itself and isn't beholden to anything else. So
yes. All right. Cool Christy 1 has a question. Is romance dead in IDW Sonic the Hedgehog?
Was it alive?
It was never alive. So there was no romance. Is romance dead in Sonic the Hedgehog? Yeah, probably for now.
There is no romance in Ba Sing Se.
No. There's nobody's alive. Never born. Nobody ever loved. CTFeologist has a question. What would be the general premise and main villain of a Robotnik's Mechanics heavy and bomb focused miniseries in the IDW continuity?
I don't know, man.
Seems like it would be a follow-up to Scrapnik Island.
Maybe. Maybe it's following them through the ages where they left off in Chaotix and their bumbling misadventures reaching the present day. Maybe there isn't a central villain. Maybe it's just slice of life adventure stuff. Or maybe there is some kind of great, grand, terrible villain that never sees the light of day because these two goofballs managed to take it out. Heavy and Bomb having character at all is something of a debatable point, so I don't know about a whole miniseries devoted to them. I'm sure it can be done. It's just I'm not chomping at the bit for that particular premise.
Just make it the adventures of R2 and C-3PO
Maybe.
in Sonic style. Might be fun. Domino AU has a question. Before reading the next part, may you both pick 3 Sonic characters for a team-up. Okay.
All right. Knuckles.
Okay.
Big.
All right.
And Vector.
Okay. I'll go with Amy, Cream, and Tails. And now, plot twist. They're all using guns. Who'd you pick and why are they packing heat?
Well, Knuckles has a big problem because he doesn't have a trigger finger.
Yeah.
So maybe he's just beating people with his
Maybe
boomstick.
his gun is a bazooka. It's got a big button on it. Clock.
Maybe.
I mean, he used a gun in Archie. He can use guns.
Big can't use it because he's so strong. Every time he pulls the trigger, he just smashes the gun in his hand.
Yeah.
And Vector, well, he decides to go full on like noir gumshoe, so he's got like Manhattan typewriter in his violin case.
And Cream is just picking off fools left and right. Constant.
She could have like the Obo Chow gun,
Cream
the Shadows game.
Cream the sniper. Mm-hmm.
Make cheese your spotter.
Uh-huh. Yes.
Chow chow. Chow 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 chow. Bang.
Yes.
Pop.
She learned from Shadow. Shadow's a proud uncle. Let's see. Amy with a gun. Terrifying. With a hammer is already scary enough.
I'm imagining a rifle with a hammer as the bayonet.
I'm getting some real Ruby from Ruby vibes. Ruby Rose.
Okay, yo, you joke, but
I'm not really joking. I think it sounds pretty sweet.
Yeah. I'm on board for that one.
Yeah, I think it sounds pretty rad. Not gonna lie. Let's see. And who else did I say? Tails? Oh man, he's taking that gun and making it into something like freaking more killer. I don't know what he's doing with it, but he's doing something because, that's what Tails do.
I mean, the Cyclone's already packing like some kind of beam cannon. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's gonna go full war machine.
Pretty much. He's gonna turn it into an armor. That's true. It's gonna be the Mega Buster. Sweet. Yep. All right. Double L has a question. Roboticizers in Archie/ShatAM are shown to roboticize the clothing the target is wearing along with them, meaning that it will affect non-living organic materials. It's also shown that throwing a robot into the machine will cause the whole setup to explode. All that in mind, what do you imagine would happen if Belle were thrown into one? Would she get a bit of a metal hat/shoe shoal before exploding? Would the answer change with Robotnik's robotization touch instead of the full machine?
Nah, I could be wrong, but I think the whole roboticizing robotic components causing an explosion is an Archie thing.
I thought it happened in SatAM. Maybe not.
I can't remember, so I could be wrong. But I'm pretty sure that was an Archie distinction. And just for the sake of this answer, we're going to assume that. And beyond that, Archie Sonic's robotization was different than SatAM's.
Yeah.
I believe it was Ben Hurst who said that SatAM robotization was more of an exoskeleton, that it was an outer shell. And that's why Uncle Chuck is able to eat a chili dog and such.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Archie Sonic was a full one-to-one metamorphosis. So if we're tossing Belle into the SatAM roboticizer, she'll be fine. She'll probably look almost the same. It's just she's metallic now.
Yeah.
If we're talking Archie roboticizer, see, we don't know exactly how she's constructed. Like, we know she's mostly made of wood, but how much of it is like pure wood? Did Eggman pull a Dr. Wily Woodman here? And she has no like real electrical components somehow? Because it's a fantasy series. I don't know, but she might be okay still. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be interesting, but it's hard to say. I'm trying to remember. But wait a minute. If it's not like an exoskeleton thing, how did Jules get his personality back? Is that just
That's more like
something
a
else?
software lockdown thing, because Robotnik introduced the whole brain burn through process, which overwrote the personality with the command programming, but that could be reversed.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Well then, all right, on that note, let's take a quick break and hopefully not get roboticized while we're away, and then come back with more BumbleKast.
We're back, and we have our weekly giveaway question. Folks who follow us on our Twitter, our Blue Sky, our Instagram, our Facebook, and our Tumblr every so often get a chance to have their question here on the show. And this week, our question comes from
someone from Tumblr, little someone known as Bimbo Amy Rose. I like to see Amy and Metal Sonic as rivals, especially in the classic universe since the 30th anniversary special. And I think a lot of fans are really happy to see Amy return to the forefront in games and be featured a lot in the comic recently. So with a lot of fans being reintroduced to Neo Metal Sonic in the comics and in the recent Forces fan project, do you think there's room for Neo Metal to come back into the story and possibly become a rival for Amy to mirror this in the modern canon? Or is his arc over for now?
As far as I'm aware, Neo Metal is done. Like, we got to revive him for, to have a recognizable big bad for the start of the series, but I don't know if he is available to be brought back since he is an upgrade of Metal Sonic. Now, it stands to reason he's a robot. Eggman could just make a separate Neo Metal, and I think his personality is distinctive enough that he could stand on his own without taking too much spotlight away from Metal. But I don't know if it's worth it. I mean, I had a lot of fun with him in the first arc, and he is kind of cool looking, if a trifle over designed. I did feel bad for anyone on the art team. I'm like, draw Neo Metal Sonic from any direction other than facing directly at the viewer. But I don't know. It's tempting. And I certainly have back pocket ideas, but I don't know if we will necessarily ever see him again. But I wouldn't discount it entirely. I don't know. That's a safe answer. I don't know.
Yeah. Would be cool to see, though. Bring him back in. Do it. You have the power. Maybe. Dove has a question. Does the average citizen know about the Chaos Emeralds, Master Emeralds, and so forth? Are these artifacts legends, or are they common knowledge? I'd find it strange if everyone knew about them, but so few people seem to be actively hunting them. I know the main characters are well aware, but what about more average folks like Night the Owl? Do they know?
My understanding, and I could be wrong, but my understanding is that generally no. Like, the Chaos Emeralds might be mythological to most people, if they even know that much. And then the Master Emerald is just like, if you know, you know. Otherwise, you have no idea, because Angel Island is a hidden place. Like, most people don't even know it's a thing. So, even with all of the shenanigans Eggman has pulled, it's more that people are exposed to, like, Chaos itself or Dark Gaia or the various robots. It's not the emeralds themselves. So I would imagine most folks don't really know about them.
That would make sense, but E200 Paragon has a question. I've got something a little different this time, a crossover setup. Specifically, the world of IDW Sonic now has to deal with the sudden and horrifying manifestation of the Lich from Adventure Time. He's an extremely powerful being who desires to end all life in all possible existences, and without going too far into the rabbit hole, the Lich from a different universe manages to drop his severed hand into a pool that had access to the multiverse, meaning every universe now has a copy of that Lich's hand, which technically includes the Game Sonic universe. The Lich's abilities are pretty much anything related to death and decay, with his only true witness being the literal power of love. With this in mind, how would you write a story where the world of Sonic the Hedgehog deals with the Lich, who's basically the end in every way?
Maybe bring him back initially with his hand grafted to Infinite. Like, this is Infinite's big comeback play.
Oh. Uh-oh.
Combine our nihilist characters, you know?
I suppose, yeah.
My tangential knowledge of Adventure Time showing here,
Mm-hmm.
I think the Lich can regrow or like possess those that he's attached to. Like I think his will can overwrite and he can kind of remanifest. So eventually you would have the body horror element of Infinite just being eaten by the Lich and the Lich coming back. Perhaps with a cool like metal variant of his half mask thing.
Yeah.
That'd be horrifying.
Lich Finite.
Yeah. Infilich.
Infilich. Infinilich. Terrible. Either way.
And, you know, he's going to go around spreading death and decay wherever he goes, destroying land masses, corrupting islands, being a bad man.
This is Amy's time to shine because, I mean, whenever she hits anything, her hammer, like, literally shows hearts.
But seriously, though, she would be probably the big hero for the arc. Because once she realizes that, you know, the actual power of love is a tangible force that defeats this thing, she will quite happily pour all of her love for the world into each hammer swing. Like she wanted to share her love with the world. Here you go, right upside your head. Pico.
All to the sounds of Huey Lewis and the news. Yes. Brilliant. The Crush 40 cover of The Power of Love.
There's a whole new meaning to kill him with kindness.
Little literal there. Here's a question from Elias. Were there any ideas about Sir Connery and Elias? I always thought that they would have had a mentor/mentee relationship. Him teaching Elias about the Sword of Light, etc.
Nope. Sir Connery was brought back to nobly sacrifice. I was like the only person who wanted to see Sir Connery back. And so I got what I wanted. I got enough. And I don't think they would have actually had any time to interact because it's been a long time since I've waded into those deep waters, but I'm pretty sure Sir Connery went off on his quest before the Great War, or he was MIA around the time Elias and Alicia went off to Angel Island. So I don't think they ever would have had a chance to interact. But regardless, that is what fanfic is for.
Pretty much.
Go nuts.
Do that. Energy has a question. One piece of lore that's not been referenced a lot is the fact that the Chaos Emeralds seem to have some sort of sentience, as do the Soul Emeralds and the Master Emerald in some form. If Sega were to give you permission to expand upon this and explore more of this, how would you go about it? What would you explore? And if you had more creative freedom, would you explore the possibility of them being able to take Mobian forms? If so, what would you do to differentiate them personality-wise?
I would do none of that. Absolutely not. The fact that they might have some form of consciousness is already kind of a iffy thing. So at most, I would keep it strange and mysterious. Like their will is unknowable. They are some kind of strange force, and leave it at that.
Yeah, it's tempting to want to, like, you know, get into the nitty gritty, but then and that's no fun anymore.
That, and it's kind of a scenario where you let the genie out of the bottle. There's no putting it back in.
No.
Because if they have fully defined identities and personalities, then why do they allow anything bad to happen? Or anything good to happen? If they have straight up personas, why do they go back to their gym state? Unless we go like the Steven Universe route. And then I don't know. I personally wouldn't want to go in that direction. But that's what fanfic is for. Go nuts.
Yes.
Dang it. Now I'm thinking of them as basically gyms out of Steven Universe, and they all do this big dance and they all turn into one singular super entity. And that's kind of fun. I already said I don't like this idea. Why you got me backtracking?
Or maybe they go back to their gem state and they are truly outrageous.
I should have quit while I was ahead.
Nope. You've decided to do a show with me. You've been behind for years. Years. Excel Hedge has a question. So, Sage's colors. Genesis black, red, and white. To Euro, Dreamcast white and blue. Coincidence?
I think so, but I can't be certain.
Maybe a coincidence, maybe not.
Well, now I think about it.
Although
the Dreamcast slogan was "It's thinking," and Sage turns white and blue when she's got her full personality manifested.
Although usually when I think of Black and Red, I think of the Master System, not the Genesis. But I think that's just marketing for America, a North American thing. So I don't know. Exadel has a question. You stated before that, according to what you've been told at the time, that From Sonic 1 to Frontiers is less than a year. But in Sonic Unleashed's in-game encyclopedia, in the entry on the Egg Dragoon, it states, and I quote, Eggman created this mechanical dragon in his efforts to thwart Sonic, putting years of research into the hedgehog's movement patterns to use it in his design. End quote. Would you consider this piece of in-game text as unfounded because it's localized text, or is it just something that slipped through the cracks?
If you try to make every little bit of minutia from the English and the Japanese and any other language version try to fit, you're going to go crazy.
Uh-huh.
I can't invalidate it, but I also can't say that holds water. So
yeah,
it is what it is. Everything is canon.
I love the idea that it has been less than a year since Sonic 1. I love that idea just because I don't know, maybe it's because it's fun to watch people squirm as they try to figure out how timeline fits together. But that could just be me. I'm just mean, I guess. I don't know. Maybe a year is like a month. I don't know. Geo Knuckles has a question. Which UA students would join the 4 teams in Sonic Rivals 2?
Let's put Bakugo as Shadow and Metal because they like to blow things up. Deku with Sonic and Tails because they're all good boys. We'll put Momo with Knuckles and Rouge because somebody has to know what they're doing. And Sue can go with Espio and Silver for hilarity's sake.
Alrighty. Here's one from Happy Times. Has treatment of NIDS developed in the past 50 years of Sonic's world to the point where it's been eradicated, or at least more easy to live with? Or has there not been any progress since Gerald tried and victims still require special environments, like Maria having to live on the Ark out in space, or Buns from Moebius needing to stay inside the Omega Care unit?
I don't know, because it's a real disease.
Yeah.
Or condition, rather. It's a syndrome. And I don't know if I'm super comfortable with the idea of saying, oh, yes, this real world malady has been cured in the fantasy world of talking animals. I feel it's a little crass. So I assume it's still there and it's still something that folks have to deal with, which is also not great, but I feel that's at least a little more respectful to those who actually have to deal with it.
I mean, it's a sci-fi world. I mean, how often is cancer cured in sci-fi future-ish type universes in fiction? So, I don't know. Hatak has a question. Blaze's blue hedgehog / naive hedgehog line translation has fascinated me since you first mentioned it. If you were in charge of writing for a remake or recap of 06 and asked to fix the intentions of that line, how would you handle it?
I just find a better word choice. The powerful hedgehog, the driven hedgehog, I suppose we can't call him heroic hedgehog because then Silver would really sound stupid. I'm going to find that heroic hedgehog. The imp was triggered. Something about that doesn't sound right.
I mean, blue made some sense, but also didn't when they figured it out.
Yeah. Maybe powerful because Sonic is powerful. Silver's incredibly powerful. And power can be construed as a good or a bad thing.
Yeah.
So, maybe.
It's weird. Here's one from Hero Squad. Popeye, or the whole spinach thing, but it's Sonic Boom. How's it go?
I want Popeye to just sail to Hedgehog Island.
It's just a crossover.
And Knuckles wants to be part of his crew because he's just so cool.
I mean, he is cool. Straight up crossover. Just do it.
It's just the spinach doesn't work for him. Exclusively him.
Uh-huh.
And so he's like desperately punching open cans of spinach and stuffing it down his face and singing to himself.
It's not working. Poor Knuckles.
Eggman's intrigued by these strange, incredible enhancement capabilities of this stuff. So he grabs a can for himself and it's all slimy. I have to eat it raw. No, I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. Does it still work if I saute it? And there's like this whole running subplot of him trying to cook the spinach in various ways, testing how much it grants strength and finding like zero evidence one way or the other.
Yeah.
And so finally he decides it's a scam. Popeye is just scamming people. So he invades with his robot, and Popeye eats a can of spinach and just bops him.
Yeah. It worked.
Have Sonic kind of glance over at Six. So you're not going to comment on the conspiratorial nature of mass-produced spinach granting superpowers? Six is like, nah, everybody knows that one.
Yeah, yeah. Popeye is working for the man. He's big spinach. Here's one from Icy. Team Chaotix gets sent to the Oregon Trail. Can they all figure out how to brave such treacherous land? Oh no.
Charmy's died of dysentery.
No! I knew it was going to go there, dang it. I knew that's where you were going to go with it. Ah!
SP is all mad because somebody robbed the wagon during the night, and Vector's now intent on getting it back. We're supposed to reach the other coast. We're going to find this pup if it kills me. Vector died of dysentery.
And it probably will kill you. Charmy, what do you want on your tombstone? Pepperoni and cheese.
Espio's left alone to ford the river, and he goes down within like the first log impact.
Oh no. So what you're saying is they don't make it.
Absolutely not. Vector's all mad. This is a stupid computer game. I don't know why we bought this used Apple II.
Oh man, they're not even doing it for real. Oh, it's a game. Oh man. Good stuff. Jara has a question. I'm aware that you're not super fond of Eggman Nega, but I really like the idea of the franchise having multiple evil science geniuses who cause our wayward heroes much grief. So on that note, I was curious what your thoughts were concerning Dr. Fukurov, the chief scientist of the Battle Cuckoo. Do you think he has any potential to be an enjoyable threat who is distinct enough from Eggman to be interesting? Are his evil inventions distinct from Eggman's, in your opinion? How would his dynamic with the cast be compared to Eggman Nega?
Oh, I love Dr. Fukurikov.
Yeah.
The name, the look, he's great. The thing is, he's not Eggman level. He is the subordinate to the Grand Battle Cuckoo, which is fine. He can be the Igor to his Frankenstein. That works great. And it gives him the opportunity to be, have an inferiority complex or aspire to do more because, this Eggman fella, he's ruling things. He's the head of it. Why can't, Dr. Fukurikov rise to the top?
Yeah.
Oh, it's because the battle cuckoo will step on my head and smoosh me like a bug. Yeah, okay. Back to the cyborg minds I go.
Oh, poor guy.
And the Battlebirds do have fairly distinct tech, or at least distinctive enough. I think they would be a great other faction to come out of mothballs. Please, I want the Battlebirds back.
Yeah, they would be awesome to see again. And you can tie them in with the rogues and
maybe not. Yeah, we don't have to retread that ground. It's just his name's Fukurikov. He's an owl. Go the full mad German scientist.
Yeah. And
have him just go, hoo, 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 hoo. That's hilarious.
Do it. Do it. Do it. Yes. All right. Here's a question from JCR1216. Back to the Iblis Rizzer, Silver the Hedgehog. It turns out his pickup line worked. It just needed time to set in. Now, Blaze, Whisper, Jewel, Surge, Tikal, and SBO are madly in love with Silver and want to riz him up in return. Since Tankle took Silver up, how does she defend her boyfriend, and what are the pickup lines or actions they all try to win Silver over? And how does Silver react? If you want to know what happened, they all dreamed about Silver being that one Josh Hutcherson whistle meme.
Okay, so we're not doing the laundry list of characters again, so we'll pick out a few highlights, I guess.
Okay.
First off, Tangle's not going to be a jealous partner.
Nah.
No, she's not going to be defensive or anything like that. She's got her faith in Silver, and that's all there is to it. It's more kind of maybe an insult that you try to muscle in on her territory. I mean, come on, I thought we were friends. Respect.
Thought we were bros, bro. What the heck?
The thing is, characters like Blaze and Whisper are terrible at initiating interpersonal connections, so I don't know if they even would be able to. Like, we're talking full on blushing, muttering at your feet, unable to make eye contact. Now, that ain't going anywhere. And to a degree, I guess that almost goes for SBU and Jewel as well. Maybe not as extreme, but they're not going to be terribly forefront. So I guess that just leaves Surge.
I guess so. It's terrifying.
Just grabs Silver by the chest for him and says, "We're dating now," and drags him out.
Surge is like, I don't know why, but we are. And Takal is like, I appreciate that, but I'm a ghost.
She can poignantly pine from afar.
I suppose. And
Cass is like, bubble, bubble, bubble. And she's like, oh, you don't know him.
All right, we got one last question. It's from Jedi Pony. Love that name. I don't know why. It makes me laugh. How would you write an 06 adaptation in Sonic X? Here's the question. Would you write the 06 adaptation in Sonic X the show or Sonic X the comic? These are two very different things.
Very different things. I don't know. If we're going to be true to the source material, then Elise doesn't really have a role, and Chris is the one who has the flames of disaster.
No!
Chris, whatever you do, you can't cry. But why?
That's all he does. No.
Oh, man. Now I'm imagining Mephiles with like that really bad early 2000s CG effect. All these awful filters flying around.
Oh, God, no. Oh, this would be awful.
You'd have like the budget episodes where Soliana and New City are just like these flat gray urban textures that have like no depth. But then you get to the final episode where they're doing the triple super fight against Solaris and the animation bump goes through the roof and it's glorious. And you forgive the last 26 episodes of your life that you've wasted watching it so far.
Mm-hmm.
This means Chris is the one that kisses Sonic back to life.
No! 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 Ian, no! Ian, no! The worst timeline. Oh, no.
Oh, and Eggman has to be as close as they can get him to photorealistic Eggman in the Sonic X style.
No!
Which does not work at all.
No. This is not going on the thumbnail. No. No. Do not put this on the thumbnail.
Oh my goodness. Just imagine the art errors for Silver's head alone.
No. Oh, no. At least Dan Green could still be the voice of Mephiles.
Oh, yeah. That'd be fantastic. That's the only reason to do this.
This would be yeah. Oh, no.
Oh, would they try to hand animate Omega, or would he be like early 2000s CG?
Crappy CG, no.
Would they just composite into each shot? Oh, man, it'd be awful.
Oh!
Wait! They did the weird thing with Sonic and Shadow's spines when they would turn their heads. What would Silver look like?
Oh.
Would he have just like one giant spine, depending on the angle?
Oh. Ian, what are you doing? Why are you?
Hapless monsters would have the terrible CG effects too.
Why am I the reasonable one? Why am I the one who's being? What do you?
Forget the comic. The comic can't hold a candle to this idea.
Oh no!
What a glorious train wreck!
Oh, what's even funnier is that your mic is trying to stop you. It's not working. It's so cursed.
The whole thing would be so awful.
Yeah.
But then there would be like this incredibly well-written and poignant subplot about Elise dealing with her emotional trauma and how Soliana as a country even works. And it's like maybe an episode, maybe two that really gets into it and fleshes out this world in a meaningful and robust manner. And that's it. Yeah. That's like that, and Dan Green are the only redeeming things out of this season.
Ian, in the chat, on the BumbleKast Discord server, open it up. There's a little piece of art there. Someone has sketched Silver.
Yes. Cursed Toucan Sam.
Oh no! Why do you? No! Awful. Toucan.
Just follow my nose wherever it goes.
Toucan Silver. No.
It's psychobeaknesis.
BumbleKast was a mistake.
It was, but at least we're over with it for today.
Oh, I guess so.
Thank you to everyone who submitted your questions over at patreon.com/BumbleKast, not BumbleFast. Ko-fi.com/BumbleKast, and our YouTube members. Be good to yourselves. Be good to each other. Know that toucan-headed Silver can't get you. And we'll see you next time on the BumbleKast.
Toucan Silver isn't real. He can't hurt you. He can, though. Is I'm hurting right now.
What's worse is when they introduce the nephews.
Oh, no. Terrifying. Oh, boy. It is no use. Thank you, Mel. Thank you.
I found it! The Bliss trigger? No, the Fruit Loops! Bursting with fruity goodness. You're bursting with fruity goodness.
I mean, I guess. Why are you... Who's sorry this time? Why are you sorry, Morless? What are you sorry for? Did you ask this question? Who is Jedi Pony?
My little Jedi, my little Jedi.
Silver is
the Force to move a rock.
Silver is canonically fruity. Good old mandates.
It'd be a pain in the ass, but it'd be funny if we came back from the break and just did his Metal Ian for the rest of the show.
Yeah.
I got roboticized. Sorry, Kyle.
Pain in the ass. So let's not do that. Pain in the ass. It'd be funny, though. But it would be funny. Yeah. But we got people here who want to hear you say the words Bimbo Amy Rose, though.
Absolutely not, because one of you is recording, and that will haunt me for the rest of my life. You know?
I can say it. Everyone's like, what? What are you talking about? Oh, you'll see. You'll see. You'll see.
Ready to pick it up?
Yeah, let's go for it.
All right.
You've been listening to the BumbleKast, a co-production of Bumble King Comics and the KNGI Network. Original theme music composed by Ken Coda Snyder. Remixed intro by T-Lopes. Find out more information, along with podcast feeder links, MP3 downloads, and more at bumbleking.com and kngi.org.
I'm pretty sure Kyle made a specific word choice. Kyle doesn't make any specific word choices. He makes noises, and they're usually coherent.
Usually coherent?
Well, I mean, I've got to respond to something. It's not a one-man act.
Oh, I guess. I just say things. They just happen. Things just come out of my mouth.
From now on, just to make sure we're safe, you have to talk like the cheat for the rest of the series. Well, the Kyle, let me give you a very pinpoint accurate answer so that they can be misinterpreted.
People actually think I was trying to say something like legit. Like, is that what they think, Fang? Were they thinking I was the actual news?
Yeah, they thought you were being coy. They thought you were doing an annoying smile.
They thought I was doing something. They really thought that.
Thankfully, we've got a question.
Someone thought it was.
To highlight that you don't.
No, I don't know anything. They thought it was canon. I didn't. Why do people listen to me?
You have authority by proxy.
Why do I have this influence? This is no.
We are in a tricky situation where we are not official, but we're kind of taken as. So
I know, but I'm not official. Don't listen to me.
Anyway, let's go make more problems.
Okay, sounds good. That's probably what'll happen. I mean, I'll do my best. If I'm gonna, if I ruin your whole career, I'll make sure I go down with you.